Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to be starting a series called Office Hour with Your Therapist. It's not going to be an hour long, it's probably going to be like maybe a minute, but I just want to I'll be introducing little bite-sized concepts for adoptees and adoptive parents to just think about and be aware of as you're seeking to make sense of your story and even support the people in your family as they're making sense of theirs. So today's topic is called Ambiguous Loss. This is kind of an easy one. I don't want to say easy, but it's one that you hear me talk about a lot. I talk about it, I teach more about it in the Campfire Workshop, and probably if you've been around my account for quite some time, you already know about this term. But this is just to catch everyone up to speed and get us on the same page as I'm continuing to share out adoption-centered information. So, ambiguous loss, what is it? Well, it's a term coined by Pauline Boss and expanded upon by Dr. Jae-Ron Kim. If I can, I'll leave a link to the article in my bio, but you can just Google Ambiguous Loss Jae-Ron Kim. But the point that I want to drive home for you all today that's important for your families is the idea that for an adoptee, someone important to me can be physically absent but psychologically present, and or someone important to me can be physically present but also psychologically absent, right? And that might be like a caregiver who's here in the room, but they are emotionally checked out. They are not attuned to my needs as a child. I'm doing XYZ, trying to connect with them, but they're simply just not reciprocating, right? And on the flip side, or on a different location on that spectrum, I could be thinking about birth family members. They are maybe halfway around the world. Maybe they are in a different state, different town, wherever. They're not here. They're still alive. Or are they? I don't know. Maybe. That's part of the ambiguity of it. But I'm thinking about them, and they're holding and maintaining that precious real estate in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. And so it's kind of hard sometimes to grieve that, because our culture is not so open and not so supportive about acknowledging that. And that's why there's that sense of disenfranchised grief. So ambiguous loss, it could show up on holidays, birthdays, other important events. It could show up literally anytime, anywhere, right? I shared a couple weeks ago about even a dream that I had about my birth dad, right? In my case there, I already know, according to my intake paperwork, that he's dead, he's deceased, but I've also had thoughts and impressions from my birth mom, who I don't know actually if she's still alive. I have met her in the past, and I share more about that in my book, but there again is the ambiguity of thinking about someone important to me and not having access to that person. It's the ambiguous loss. So I personally have learned, or I'm in the process of being able to kind of navigate that feeling when it comes up, understanding that I could feel a wave of sadness, right? Or just feeling low, down, I might miss them, could feel anger, resentment, bitterness. But like I said, me personally learning how to manage those emotions and still function in my daily callings and in my daily relationships. So that's ambiguous loss, psychological presence, but physical absence of someone important in my life. And so you might think, has that ever happened for you as an adoptee? Or how do you make sense of that as an adoptee? For adoptive parents, where do you see that showing up in your children's life? How have you maybe acknowledged that? Or maybe you've kind of missed it. Maybe it's time to kind of start thinking, how do we acknowledge this? How do we recognize this together? And I teach more about that in the workshop and in my book. And of course, kind of just day to day on my social media platforms. Awesome. So let me know if you have questions about this. I think this is a very important topic, although it's been out for a long time, and it's very common, you know, for mental health professionals to be able to talk about this. And yet it's still so important to our daily lives. So yes, feel free to DM me any questions about that, and we can go from there. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed this today, y'all. Have a good day.